evening again, everybody. My name is Steve Westfall, and I'm one of the committee members that was asked of the mayor to solicit public opinion, hopefully one final and last time. I'm very happy to be part of this process. I'm a longtime resident of Pinellas County. Some time ago, I heard what was going to be proposed for the pier area. I'm not sure that the mayor heard me voice my opinion of nobody asked me, and so I'm happy to be a part of this process. And it seems to me that many of you here, hopefully, want to voice your opinions as well about what we can do to beautify our waterfront area for generations to come. That said, we do have the Deputy Mayor, Kanika Tomlin, in the house. There we are. And she would like to represent for the mayor and the city and say a few words.
Good evening. We are so excited about this turnout here tonight. See people still coming in, and this is fantastic. I'm Kanika Tomlin, the Deputy Mayor. Very pleased to be here with you. I have regrets that the mayor cannot be here, but he thanks you as well. He's actually at Greenlight Pinellas Forum, doing some information on that. But there is no more important issue than this pier for our community, for all of the hiring and building of people and building of processes that we're doing. The building of this pier, as Steve said, will stand as an iconic structure for years to come. And so we know that we need to start with our people. St. Petersburg is its people, and we appreciate the time and attention that you are giving to this tonight. Tonight we focus on the programming. Form will follow function, but we do want to decide as a community what we want the pier to do, what we want the pier to hold. And we are going to follow the advice and the input of the people who give us their feedback. Excited to tell you that we've had more than 1,000 responses thus far, and every single one of those voices count, as does yours. So again, thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time. We want to give a special thanks to Steve and all of the committee members who are giving of their time on various levels. We couldn't get this done without you. And from the mayor's office, I want to thank Mike Connors and all of the city staff that is also working on this. Together we will build a wonderful pier that will serve our city for generations to come. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kanika. Yes, we also have Mr. Mike Connors with the city here, and he's going to take the podium momentarily and tell us a little bit about the history of what we have out there and where we stand right now. Okay?
Thank you, Steve, and once again, thank all of you for attending, giving up your personal time for such an important program and project. I was remiss at the first public meeting by not acknowledging certain staff members that have worked long and hard and diligently in putting together this public input session, and will continue as we get through this several-year initiative. Raul Quintana is our city architect in the back. Raul, thanks for coming. Chris Balestra, the director of development. India Williams and Paul Stelrick, putting all the muscle and heavy lifting into these. So thank you. Our pier dates back well over 100 years in terms of the history of this community, and I just want to reflect upon the past 10 years, more importantly to give you some perspective as to where we're going with this process, and even more important than that, give you some relevance as to what your efforts here tonight really mean and where we're going with those. Back in 2004, then City Engineering presented to City Council the results of a structural maintenance analysis that basically said the major maintenance program that had been in place for the prior 10 years to maintain the superstructure of the pier, which is the pier approach and the pier head, was no longer cost effective. You're throwing good money after bad. The saltwater intrusion into the reinforcing steel was so extensive, it's irreparable, and you need to start planning for the superstructure's replacement. That definition of that, once again, is a 1,000-foot long approach to 300 by 400-foot pier head, and there's 36,000 square feet of first-floor retail that sits on that pier head that has to come out because the foundation underneath it has to come out. A year later, or in 2005, the city then entered into a contract with Pinellas County to provide for tax increment financing and identified a $50 million price tag to replace the superstructure and to rehab the inverted pyramid. Several amendments to that agreement thereafter allowed for an expansion of the scope of work to possibly include replacement of the inverted pyramid while replacing everything else. In 2009, then Mayor Rick Baker established a Pier Task Force. And that task force conducted literally dozens of public input sessions, primarily focusing on what we're doing tonight, which is to identify the functional programmatic elements of what should be incorporated into the pier's design. A year later, that task force made its recommendation to City Council, and then in 2011, a design competition ensued. 3 concepts were ultimately shortlisted. The lens was ultimately selected, and an architectural engineering agreement was entered into with the Michael Malson Group. And in 2013, that work commenced, only for 8 months thereafter, people to go to the polls and soundly defeat by requesting a termination of the contract for any furtherance of the lens design. Mayor Kriseman took office in January of 2014 and immediately rolled up his sleeves to develop a net new process on how to implement a replacement of the pier. And he did so by, first and foremost, engaging the stakeholders. Individuals that were for the lens, that were against the lens, that were for saving the pier, that were for incorporating this project into the downtown waterfront master plan, were all met with individually by Mayor Kriseman and briefed on his proposed process. The reason that's important is because all these divergent views from the community had a one-on-one session with the mayor and were briefed on what he thinks should be the steps going forward and bought into it for the most part. The mayor then convened this working group to reach out to the public once again, to confirm the public's interest on what the functionality of the new pier should be and what the programmatic elements of those functions should be and the priorities that should be paid attention to by the architectural engineering community that's going to ultimately submit concepts. The input that you provide tonight will go into an RFQ, which is a request for qualifications. The AE community will then submit their quals and will be shortlisted. The city anticipates 5 to 8 entities we will contract with to develop their concepts, which are to include the programmatic elements that these public input sessions provide for. A big difference this time around is that the mayor wants these programmatic elements to be more steadfast, to be more paid attention to, and to be more relevant in the determining of an acceptable concept. Those concepts will then be vetted with the public. We have another round of public engagement to educate the interested parties of what the pier concepts entail, how much they're going to cost, how they provide for the programmatic elements you all desire to see in there, and to make sure they're permittable and constructible within our remaining budget of $46 million. Then the big difference that Mayor Kriseman introduced is subsequent to the public outreach on those concepts available, there's going to be an informal, non-binding public vote. Anyone 18 years of older that lives in this city will be entitled to select, and our envision at this point is pick your top 3 preferences. That will then go back to a selection committee that recommends to the mayor which concept to go forward with, that then goes to city council for final blessing. So that in essence is the new process with those 4 major differences from the prior process that hopefully will get this project complete within the next 3 years. So your time is important, your thought is even more important, and we appreciate all of it. Thank you. Back to you, Steve.
Well, okay. And that brings us to today. There are several people around the room this evening with a badge like mine. If you're seated, could you stand up? I just need some visibility here for everyone in the audience to see. All right. They're dispersed throughout the audience to make sure that if you have, I like that, you just give them a wave. If you have any questions on what's coming up in front of you, that you know that there's somebody here from the task force that can make things easier for you. Basically, as it's been laid out, this is the second of 5 public opinion forums. What we hope to do here tonight is we have the sheet. Number 1 is this questionnaire, all right? And I'm going to explain to you how to fill out the questionnaire. Secondly, there is a sheet of paper on the table for a tabletop discussion. And with that, we're hoping that you all, as a group of 8 or 10 or 6 at a table, will use that one sheet to give us your consensus, in other words, table by table, to elect a spokesperson at the end of our tabletop forum and bring your consensus, your table opinion, elect a supervisor. They will come to the microphone and they will tell us what you felt that your top elements were for in an order of 1 through 10 as what you've arrived at based on your table discussion. So that's the tabletop forum that we hope to bring to the public here tonight. And then third is individually you were asked if you wanted some microphone time. We feel that it's very important that each of you that wants to have a voice be heard. Okay, so there is a basket back there with India. If you haven't had a forum, somebody will get you that. If you do think that you want some time at the microphones at the end of the tabletop forum, then please make sure you fill out one of those, because we'll be calling you up one by one to make sure that your voices are heard. All right? I love that the mayor has given us one more shot at this, and it's the relevance and the importance of this, I can't speak more highly of, and I'm just thrilled that we have such a turnout like this, and I'm happy, and we welcome whatever those opinions are. So let me go to the elements program page right here. What we have is upwards of 30. We've defined them as elements, all right, for the sake of, that's what committees do. They come up with a word that they think is going to work. And all right, we've defined them as the elements that will be on the, let me be clear about this, land side or pier side is not necessarily what this forum hopes to derive. If you have an opinion about where you want any of your elements to go, we feel that you're free to write in next to that element where you might like to see it, okay? But that is entirely optional. To be clear, you have 30 elements here, and they're ranked 1 as the lowest through 5 the highest. And we would just like you to address each of the 30 that we've given you and tell us how you feel about those particular elements. That's the first part of the quiz, okay? Second, on the very bottom, you'll see several lines there for suggestions below. I can't stress enough how important those blank spaces are, because there again is your turn to speak. And if there's anything that you feel that we missed on these first 30 elements, it's a great place to write whatever it is you're thinking that you would like to see in your downtown waterfront, okay? Now, that completes the ranking of 1 through 5, but over here on the left, that column is very important, and what we're asking you to do there, as it says on the bottom of the page, is to rank your top 10 program elements 1 through 10, and that will give us an idea, say, whatever your preference is. And you'll see that they're in subcategories of dining and commercial, entertainment, other activities, transport, and attractions. So what's more important to you? That's what that is for, is so you can rank 1 through 10 what you feel are your favorite top 10 in the order that you see the relevance of them concerning the downtown waterfront. So, short of turning it over to your our committee members that can help with the tabletop discussions and letting you fill these out, are there any questions? Is there anything you feel that I didn't address in order to help you fill out this paperwork? I have one in the back. 1 would be number 1. Okay? 10 would be, good question. All right? Any other questions? Oh, okay. What was asked here is over here on the right side of the form, is 10 your least favorite or your most favorite? So the ranking of favorite would be, according to the way it's listed here on the bottom, program elements 1 through 10. So on the left side of this paper, you see those boxes. At the top it says rank, and we want you to tell us what your most favorite element is that you would like to see I hesitate to say the word pier, because Mayor Kriseman has said it may be pier or no pier. That's not it. He's asking what you want in your waterfront. Am I clear on that? Is that fair? Did I say that right? All right. So these are the elements for the downtown waterfront. These are the options that through years of studies and surveys have come to the forefront. And there are 30 choices right there. But beyond that, if there's anything you feel was not covered, the blank spaces on the bottom of this form are for you to put in your additional suggestions. Okay? I don't see any more questions. I will ask that you fill out your own personal surveys, and when you see your group or your table is done, for the most part, there is the sheet. Where is that, Lorraine? Does everybody have a tabletop sheet? India? Have the tabletop forum sheets been handed out yet? Okay. They'll be bringing those around to you so that you can address collectively. When you see these tabletop discussion sheets, you'll hopefully open with your neighbors, the dialogue, and you'll be a part of the process in determining what you feel your group individually would like to see in the downtown waterfront. So now it's up to you, honestly. All right? Have your discussions. Let us know what the feedback is. That's what we're here for. We want to report back to the mayor. And so have a nice, engaging conversation, and we'll invite you up and tell us your results in a few moments. Thank you. It's that time of the evening that I'll be coming around to each of the tables. We are looking for your top 10 elements that your group has decided are important to them for the downtown waterfront. And I know that table 4 has completed their form, and I'm going to ask you that you can share what your top 10 items are. Okay? Do you want to stand? If you like, however you're comfortable. Stand up, give it to them. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. I'm reporting on table number 4. Our number 1 choice was observation areas. Number 2, fine dining / open air casual dining. So dining, in other words. We kind of combine things sometimes. Number 3, we did the same sort of thing with shopping / support retail. Number 4, tram, trolley. Number 5 is Marine Discovery Center, and there we said perhaps on the land. Number 6, fishing. Number 7, flexible event space / community gathering space. 8, cycle, jogging, walking. 9, Spa Beach to Vinoy Park Bridge. And 10, we sort of water parks, but we amended it to say something like fountains, those fountains where they spritz up out of the ground and the little kids can run through them. And that was our number 10.
All right, thank you. Thank you. I know table 5 was ready as well. Okay. if you want to present that to the crowd. And I'll be coming around to each of your tables, and please make sure you have a spokesperson chosen. And just like this first example, it's how did you rank your elements 1 through 10 on your table?
Okay. Our table selected open air casual dining as number 1. For number 2, we put observation areas. Number 3, and this was very important to our group actually, was performance or stage area. 4, cycling, jogging, walking. 5, tram or trolley. 6, courtesy docks. 7, we envisioned some sort of water park or a water feature, some sort of waterfall. For number 8, environmental education. 9, kiosks, and 10, bike or watercraft rental. Thank you.
All right. Number 1 for us was observation area. Number 2, family entertainment center. Number 3, open air casual dining. Number 4, marine discovery center. 5 was fishing. 6 was tram and trolley, and it was emphasized more than one. Not just one tram or trolley, multiple tram and trolleys. Number 7, shops. Number 8, fine dining. Number 9, fast food. And number 10, picnic area.
And those results were delivered by the gentleman. I've met him at several meetings before, but his grandfather worked on the original $1 Million Pier, and thank you for that input. Thank you for your... Do you all have your 1 through 10? Would you like to be the spokesperson? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Steve. Our number 1 was open air casual dining. Number 2 was fine dining. Number 3 was cafe and snack bar. We like to eat this table, obviously. Number 4 was shopping, and we felt that kiosks and support retail was sort of all part of shopping, so we didn't add them to the numbers. Number 5 was a tram trolley. Number 6 was a marine discovery center or some sort of environmental education along with that. Number 7, bike and watercraft rental. Number 8, community gathering space. Number 9, observation areas, and I think we realized we should have had that higher, but we didn't. And number 10, fishing. Okay?
By the way, I want to let everybody know that your individual elements that you've chosen, we are tallying them up over the next few weeks. And when we do have the final results in, we will give the final tallies. Some people have asked if we could see ahead of time, and we just don't want to skew any of the results. So once all 5 community meetings have been held and we tally the results, you'll be able to see them, okay?
Okay, there we go. Number 1, fine dining. Number 2, open air casual dining. Number 3, observation areas. Number 4, we cheated on this one. We put down tram, trolley, and gondola. Now, I know it's not on there, but we put it on anyhow. Number 5, fishing. Number 6, the non-motorized boating. Number 7, cycling, jogging, and walking. Number 8, we want the picnic area. Number 9, the bike and the watercraft rental upland. And number 10, motorized boating.
Thank you. Table 8, Table 3, you ready?
Okay, our consensus is number 1 will be flexible event space. Number 2, cycling, jogging, walking. Number 3, fishing. Number 4, tram trolley. Number 5, open air casual dining. Number 6, fine dining. Number 7, shopping. Number 8, picnic area. Number 9, bike watercraft rental. Number 10, water park.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we have a spokesperson from here. You'll give us your top 10, please.
You always have to have one table that breaks the rules. That's us. But we did choose functions, and we did rate them. We just could not reach consensus within each, so we chose number 1, dining, number 2, transportation, number 3, attractions, and everybody pretty much liked the Ferris wheel, number 4, activities, and the water park got some positive conversations. Number 5, retail and commercial. So this is not a table of shoppers.
Is that it?
And if you want to say what you want to say and really break the rules, that's our top 5.
All right. Table 1, we have a spokesperson. Here you go.
Okay, let's see. We have number 1 is open air casual dining. Number 2 is cafe snack bar. 3 is shopping. 4, performance stage area. 5, flexible event space. 6, community gathering space. 7, observation areas. 8, cycling, jogging, and walking. 9, courtesy docks. 10 is fishing. And we also have alternative suggestions, adequate parking.
Adequate parking was their number 10, and rightly so a priority, okay? So I love the suggestions when they're added on, because it's not all in these top 30. Table 10, do you have your results? Not ready? Go ahead, I'll come back to you. Table 9, yes? We be the spokesperson? Thank you.
All right, table number 9, number 1 is open air casual dining. Number 2 is observation areas. Number 3, there we go, flexible event space. Number 4 is cafes and snack bars. Number 5 is cycling, jogging, and walking. Number 6 is courtesy docks. Number 7 is trolley trams. Number 8 is fine dining. Number 9 is shopping. And number 10 is performance stage area.
All right, thank you. And table 12, are we ready? All right. And at this part of the process, I can see that we're maybe close to halfway done, and it doesn't take that long. And I hope you all appreciate the relevance of how you can see, I guess, what the city is going to see about the varied options that all exist. And that's why the ranking of these is going to help so that we can address everything to the best of our abilities. So please.
The results for table 12. Number 1 was cycling, jogging, walking. Hold it close, please. Number 2, observation areas. Number 3, community gathering space. Number 4, open air casual dining. Number 5, tram trolley. Number 6, Marine Discovery Center. Number 7, environmental education. Number 8, water taxi. Number 9, fine dining. And number 10, performance stage area.
Okay, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Hello. Whoa. Sorry. Okay, our number 1, actually we wanted all of the food areas, but we picked open air casual dining as number 1. Number 2, we want all the retail and commercial, but we had to choose, so we chose shopping in general. Number 3, observation areas. Number 4, fishing. Number 5, cycling, jogging, walking. Number 6, courtesy docks. 7, exhibition vessel berth. 8, flexible event space. 9 is banquet space. And 10, tram and trolley. Thank you.
Okay, our table. Number 1, environmentally friendly, sustainable design. Number 2, dining, no national chains. Number 3, cycling, walking, jogging for all ages. Number 4, fishing. 5, community gathering space. Number 6, trolley, tram, connecting to Central Avenue trolley, etc. Number 7, observation area. Number 8, boats. Number 9, Marine Discovery Center. And number 10, bike watercraft rental.
Thank you. Thank you. I believe there's about 8 tables more to go. You went, thank you. All right, come back to you. We're a spokesperson. Thank you. Table 13.
There we go. Okay, so we colored outside of the lines a little bit. So I'm going to try to put a couple things together. So for number 1, we had open air casual dining and cafe snack bar. Then number 2, we created our own priority, which included air conditioning element, shading, a water-based pier, which seemed essential to all of us to actually extend the approach and ensure that there was environmental education, sustainability, and green space. That was our number 2. All right, so number 3 was motorized boating and non-motorized boating combined. Number 4 is tram trolley. 5 was fishing. 6 was the cycling, jogging, walking, but to ensure that the walkway was exaggerated like the remainder of the parkway so that we didn't have to be run over. Number 7 was to ensure an observation area. 8, courtesy docks. 9, a water park, but it wasn't alone. We read the definition and we wanted to make sure that the task force understood that we wanted it to be simple, artful, and sustainable. Let me take this opportunity to say that the entire table had a consensus regarding the sustainability, that anything that we do needed to have sustainability to correspond with the work that Mr. Connors is doing to ensure the city is a sustainable city. So number 10 was to support retail. Before I give the microphone back though, we had a hard time differentiating these uses from the approach and the actual pier, so that in the next public hearing, if we could be able to do that, to ensure that when we choose our priorities, that we choose them whether they be water-based or land-based.
Yep, thank you. Excellent input. Thank you.
Testing. All right, we chose table 18. Number 1, motorized boating. Number 2, observation areas. Number 3, open air casual dining. Number 4, fine dining. 5 was courtesy docks. 6 was Marine Discovery Center. 7, bike watercraft rental. 8, community gathering space. 9, water taxi. And 10, tram trolley.
Thank you. India, is someone collecting the table forms when they're through? Okay, so save those. Valuable information. Table 14, we have a reader?
Table 14 said that number 1 would be a free tram trolley, which would include a stop at the Sundial garage, if not other garages and/or trolleys. Number 2 was open air casual dining. 3, combined shopping and kiosks, and one of the comments was to include T-shirts and Florida Kitsch. 4, combine the Marine Discovery Center with environmental education. 5, observation areas. 6, performance stage area. 7, courtesy docks. And since we did some combining, we stopped with 8, which was fine dining, the Columbia, or a like restaurant.
All right. Thank you. Table 17? Yes?
Table 17 chose number 1 as fishing, number 2 cycling, jogging, and walking, number 3 open air casual dining if it's covered, 4 we wanted the water park if it was a free type splash water park, 5 was the picnic area, 6 tram trolley, 7 bike watercraft rental, 8 was the cafe snack bar, 9 was the observation areas, and number 10, we also combined the Marine Discovery Center and the environmental education.
What is this? Table, do we have a spokesperson at 16? Please.
Good evening. We're Team Water Taxi. So number 1, water taxi. Number 2, cycling, jogging, walking. Number 3, observation areas. Number 4, non-motorized boating. Number 5, flexible event space. Number 6, community gathering space. 7, cafe snack bar. 8, fishing. 9, tram trolley. And 10, bike watercraft rental. And I do have a request that not me personally, but the water taxis from Tampa to St. Petersburg. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have we gone table 15? Thank you.
Hi. Number 1, we had open air casual dining, but we added a new spin to it. We thought it'd be interesting that there'd be an area for food trucks so that all the area businesses. And another cool concept in that same area would be if there was a commercial kitchen where there could be a rotating chef from all our awesome restaurants in the area. And then after that, number 2 was bike watercraft. Number 3 was cycle, jogging, walking. Number 4 was a flexible event space. Number 5 was a picnic area. Number 6 was environmental education. 7 was non-motorized boating. 8 was a water taxi. And 9 was fishing. And 10 was spa, beach to Vinoy Park Bridge.
Did I get table 18? Did we do that? 19, have you been heard? Do you all have a spokesperson yet, or would you like to? Still deliberating? Table 20, you ready? You did it? And I think table 10, where was table 10? You ready? Did you do yours? You ready? Okay. All right, then we're last. And then we'll be moving to the 3-minute, everybody has their turn at the mic, if you would like.
Can everyone hear me okay? Thank you for everyone coming out tonight. We did have a consensus for number 1 on our table of cycling, jogging, and walking. Number 2 actually was a write-in for landscape feature or actual physical construction of shaded areas along the walkways and cycling areas. Number 3 was open air casual dining. Number 4, observation areas. Number 5, fishing. Number 6, tram trolley. Number 7 was also a write-in. It was a water fountain or play area in specifically the upland area was a write-in. Number 8 was an exhibition vessel berth that could accommodate a large vessel, whether it be an exhibition vessel, a dining boat, or any special vessel to come and berth at the pier. Number 9, fine dining. And number 10, a water taxi.
Thank you very much. Table 19. Would you like to give us a top 5? 6, 7? Is that right? Have all the other tables had a chance to speak? You know, if you all would like a little more time, I have an idea, and when you're ready, you let me know up at the microphone and you can come up. in between some of the 3-minute time allotments that we have for individuals. Would that be okay? Okay, all right, because we don't, thank you, take that. Does anybody have one of these at your table? You do? India? Would you hold it up and somebody will come around and get it from you, because I'll put you in line so that you can speak. I know we started at about 6:30, and just to give you a heads up, there's a stack here that will probably keep us, I would guess, on another 40 minutes. I want to welcome you all, and I'm so glad that you came to be a part of this turnout. I just can't thank you all enough, those that, all of you, for the turnout and giving us the opinions that we were looking for on, as I say again, what to do with your waterfront. The first speaker I'd like to call up at this time is, I see Tracy Weber. Is Tracy still here? Tracy, if you'll take the microphone on the right. And I see a Hugh Tulloch. Hugh, are you still with us? Hugh Tulloch? Is that you? No? All right. Tracy, go ahead. Michelle Whalen. What I'm trying to do is get whoever's next at the opposing microphone, and we can just give each of you your time allotted. And we are asking if you could keep it to 2 minutes, that's fine. If you need the whole 3, that's fine as well. We are here till the bitter end to hear everything that needs to be said. And that's why we're here, is because we want your input. Okay? So, first up, have at it.
Hi, my name is Tracy Weber. I'm a software engineer at USF, and I am not being compensated for any of my ideas. I understand that we have approximately $47 million for the replacement idea for the pier, and that includes the demolition of the existing structure. The existing upside-down pier that we all know and love has been here a long time, but it's exceeded its useful time frame. And so we are going to say goodbye, and we are going to bring in an element that reflects the current status of St. Petersburg. And my vision would be a permanent venue for the Saturday market that incorporates a Spanish colonial village, an ambiance to mimic St. Petersburg historical landmarks like the Vinoy and the Don Cesar. The inside would be like a similar airplane hangar feature or a dome top that provides sun and rain protection, while the inside is light-filled and will provide a space for the open-air market on 1 or 2 levels. This would be in a climate-controlled facility. Think of a movie set inside an airport hangar. We would create a Spanish mercado feel. A mercado is an open-air Spanish market complete with Epcot-like Spanish village. We would have indoor eating and we would have outdoor eating. There would be a pavilion that would double as an event facility and for outdoor dining. We would also have outdoor park and trails for bicycle. We would expand the mercado so that people could come in and rent space, and that revenue would take care of the cost. I also propose, similar to the Daytona Beach facility, that we put in a Coney Island structure, a building reminiscent of Spanish colonial, at the head of the pier, and that building would serve as a base for a sky tram that would travel down to the end of the existing runway up to the square building, which we would have to demolish. This runway would act as a platform for a sky tram. Additionally, there would be a circle with a Spanish fountain at the front of the pier, and this would lead to the front of the Mercado area and the parking facilities would be extended. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Michael Willen is going to be up, but I'm looking for Warren Parham to take the other microphone, please. Warren? Go ahead.
Okay, I'm certainly glad to be here, and I wish everybody common health, wealth, and beauty. My number one priority for the pier is to make it a sustainable, an internationally recognized sustainable energy development project, which would draw people here to see how forward-focused we are and how ready we are to meet the future challenges that we're all going to face with climate change. Secondarily, I'd like to see whatever is happening be elder-ready. Not only are we facing a big change in climate, water levels and things like that, but we're also facing the silver tsunami. So intergenerational access, wide boulevards for cycling, jogging, as well as handicap accessible wheelchairs and things like that, maybe even movable sidewalks. Again, sustainably harnessed with solar energy, wind power, etc.
Thank you. Warren, go ahead.
Hello there, guys. My name is Warren Parham, and I personally just like to see it old school. I mean, I love the pier, the inverted thing. I really care for it a lot. I love it. Would like to demolish, but I'm open about it. My main thing that I would love the city to do is just promote it, make it family friendly. Just utilize every inch in that St. Pete has to offer. And I think if we do that, especially foundating the pier, showing some light on it, that would also promote the downtown Soho-ish kind of area of St. Petersburg. And if we encompass all that and tweak it like Tracy did with, like, turn it into a mini Disney World Coney Island without getting really cheesy, but then just give the down-home feel of what Pinellas County, downtown St. Pete, and the surrounding areas have to offer. Utilize that with all the shopping and the restaurants and the whole schmear that you put it all together in that. And just really just fine-tune it so families can enjoy it. They can make it romantic, like they said, do a gondola instead of a tram. We got the carriages downtown we use. Just utilize everything and promote it, advertise it, get it out there, and I think it would be a beautiful thing. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tom Strickland, microphone to my right. Table 19, Brendan is going to give us, they just finished up their poll, or their top 10 you're going to give us?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just insert that one in, and please let us know what you thought.
Sorry about that, guys. We had some very passionate people at our table, so, but we're ready now. For number one, we chose marine discovery because we all felt that whenever you come to St. Pete, what do we sell? Like, the whole idea of is our Tampa Bay, and that is what most of the tourists come to see. Number two would be our observation areas, because whenever you go down to the pier, you're going to observe the marine life and all of the fine dining and other architecture and things of that nature. Number three was fine dining. That's all I have to say about that. Number four was shopping. I feel that that's important because when you incorporate businesses into our pier, it generates its own revenue to take care of its own upkeep. How about that? Number five was our family entertainment center, because most of the tourism would be families, so that's pretty important. Number six would be flexible event space, for whether it's an art show, we have certain civic groups coming and want to use the space available, they should be able to do that. Number 7 is fishing. I mean, come on, the first pier, that's basically all they did was fish. So, number 8 was environmental education, so that more of the youngsters in St. Pete can learn about our Tampa Bay. Number 9 is bicycle and watercraft rentals, because that also generates some income. And number 10 was the Spa Beach to Vinoy Park Bridge. And that's it.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Brenda. All right. And I'm pretty sure that was all of the tabletop feedback. If I did miss a table, please raise your hand or let me know. Mr. Strickland, mic's all yours. I'm sorry, David Ellis in the audience. You'll be speaking next, please. Okay.
Hello, I'm Tom Strickland. I've been a St. Pete resident since 1969. Have been in the design and construction business right here in Tampa Bay and the state of Florida for the last 35 years. First off, I want to thank you all for coming out. It is amazing how this entire room of almost 200 people is on the same page. And I applaud you for that, because your investment here in the city of St. Pete is wonderful. A couple pieces. At my own expense, with an architect friend of mine, we created a concept almost 2 years ago called Marina Bay Market. I gave this to Mayor Foster before the last election. I've also shared it with Ed Montanari. It's a good design, it's not perfect, and I'm not looking for work. This isn't what I do. I generated it to create the thought process. This concept accomplishes everything you all are asking for. But most importantly about this concept is how this thing gets executed. We have watched the city struggle over several years, spend millions of dollars, whether it's $47 million left, whether it... There we go. Sorry about that. Whether it's $47 million left or $35 million left, if we'll execute this under what is called in the industry a P3 project, which is a public-private partnership, which allows a public entity, the city of St. Pete, to leverage a public asset, i.e. the exposure to this water, and bring in private expertise to develop it and to manage it. We won't spend near the money we have left. We'll have a professional who lives and breathes in this business, developing this and creating it to be a great asset for us. I'm not taking a dig at the city of St. Pete, but city governments were never developed to be a developer nor a property manager. There's hundreds of communities around the United States who have done this very, very successfully, from courthouses to bridges to highways to entertainment complexes. Folks, this committee for the pier, if they don't truly vet that opportunity out, I think they're doing all of us a very big disservice. So that's my strongest message here today. Thank you for your time.
I was looking for David Ellis. Microphone here, and then Jeff Tomez. Jeff, if you'll take the microphone on my right, please. You'll be up next.
I swear I had this comment written before we heard the last speaker, but my first sentence was, my comments do not contain any conceptualized images or models, which they don't, but please don't be upset with that comment. So for now, I'm asking that we use our imagination, so please close your eyes. Imagine you're standing at the land side end of the pier approach. Here we find people laughing, happy children playing beach games, adults smiling, satisfied with cool drinks and good supper, all in the comfort of fine air-conditioned restaurants. Remember that all of this is on the land side of the pier. I suggest in this round of architectural considerations that we put aside the building icon battles of the past, focus more on trying to understand the nature of the site that we call the pier. Reflections from the waves, colors and shapes of the vegetation, the clouds, textures of the beach sand, dark shapes of creatures swimming just below the surface with fins that break through the surface, send a thrill through your body. Seahorses, hammerhead sharks, game fish, huge rays right before your eyes. And there are birds above the water, pelicans, ospreys diving for food. In the winter, loons from Maine and white pelicans from Michigan come all the way down here. The mountains of Florida, if you don't know the mountains of Florida, they're becoming more apparent right now as the summer sunsets and the clouds, which are magnificent clouds, begin to turn colors and you see the mountains that are the mountains of Florida. They're apparent as summer sunsets light the clouds more brilliantly than any theatrical stage. The setting and the rising of the sun is a major statement by nature of how much we respect and how we treat our land and our waterscapes. What do I want for a structure? I don't know. Perhaps a water bridge, something visually light, structurally simple and clean, with select spaces created for simple amenities, ice cream stands, hot dogs, cold drinks, shade, created by hand-operated retractable canvas panels, intimate spaces for music, theater, history presentations, fishing platforms that are designed to let the anglers enjoy the mackerel runs. I believe we need a design that emphasizes and celebrates the uniqueness of such an urban space. It should be an easy-to-maintain structure that acts as a path of exploration from the city deep out into the bay. If it is simple, it should cost less to design and be faster to build. It should be more flexible in use as needs change over the years, which they are undoubtedly going to do. It should be simple, strong structure that reaches out into the bay. It should be a powerful but gentle visual and physical statement. I prefer a natural landscape that says, "Look at me," rather than a building that says, "No, look at me, I'm much more important."
3 minutes.
To sum it up, let us try to open our minds to the uniqueness of the site and to try to incorporate the thrill of nature in the work that we do. If we at least give it a try, then I believe we have a far better chance to experience a fresh, unique, and satisfying solution for a new pier. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Jeff, I need Earl Waters, please. You're still with us. Take the microphone on my left.
Good evening, everyone. I hope this evening finds you well. Just a few bullet points here, and I hope I plant a seed as well. If you all are not aware, this past week the CDC came out with unfortunate information that we have an epidemic in our country now, and that is diabetes. We have nearly 30 million individuals that are diabetic, and 27% of those individuals do not know they're diabetic. They are pre-diabetic. So my one seed I would wish to plant is whatever we do, we have a wonderful opportunity here. I hope that we incorporate health with this. One gentleman alluded earlier that we have an aging population. Yes, we do. I am in the medical field, from critical care, trauma, to hospice. Now I manage a program with the St. Petersburg Free Clinic where I have 356 people in my diabetic education program. I'm certainly hoping that we have the opportunity to incorporate health, wellness for everyone in our community. Number two, we have a unique opportunity here to offer an incubator for small businesses to bring their talents for the rest of the city. And third, simply, let's keep this simple to reach all members of our community. Thank you very much for your time and good evening.
I'm looking for a Gabrielle Lichterman. Gabrielle, you'll take the microphone on my right if you're still here.
Thank you. My initial intent was to espouse an updated version of the original $1 Million Pier, do something with a trolley that's going to take people out. The old pier had a turntable, but if we had an electric trolley, a plug-in, it could have a steering wheel at either end and go back and forth. I'd like it to at least connect with the what used to be the Baywalk, but now is the Sundial Garage. I wouldn't mind seeing a second level put on the parking lot that is now on the south side of the pier approach to increase parking out there. I'd also like, anywhere we can, to incorporate solar power generators, even wind power. I live facing the pier, and I have a nearly constant breeze coming in offshore during most of the year, so that this is something that we could, again, as another speaker stated from this microphone earlier, set an example for not only the rest of the community, but the rest of the state, and hopefully make a statement that would be heard and reiterated around this country, and not to be totally self-effacing, but that would bring tourists here, and it would bring more business to the pier. We need to incorporate businesses down on the pier. Most of these 30 suggestions that were brought out are all wonderful aspects. Some of them were kind of repetitious, but obviously we need things that are going to bring not only tourists, but locals back time and time again to the pier. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's Earl. Thank you, Earl. Joe Lackey, do I see Joe? All right, and I want to appreciate your patience, everyone. I'm looking at about 10 more of these. All right, let's see if I'm looking for John Hayner. John, please, microphone over here. And behind John, I'd like to see, I believe it says Robert, is it Little? No? Okay. Joan Martin. Dan, do you have one in here? Are you going to want a mic? No? Give me just 1 second, please, sir. J. Michael Wilkinson. Okay, if you'll take that mic and you'll be up next. Go ahead, sir, please. John Hayner, correct? 3 minutes.
Yes, my name is John Hayner. I'm a retiree and a private citizen living in Clearwater. And I had a vision, not just a vision, of an iconic building out at the end of the pier. And I presented it 4 or 5 years ago, and I've revised it a bit since. So let me just share 2 aspects. Features of the causeway approach out to the iconic building at the end, which I will describe, and then the features of the destination pier building at the end. As we approach, I would like to have an air-conditioned, covered people mover. Others have described trolleys and so on, but an air-conditioned, domed people mover as at an airport, where you could get off at 2 or 3 different places and go out the sides at your wishes to go shopping at boutique shops which feature Florida or Tampa Bay merchandise primarily. Not necessarily, the big name shops that you can find down at the Ellington Mall. Also, there would be a roadway going all the way out where you could pull in to park or go through the shops, beyond the shops, to a deck, fishing deck all the way out on both sides. Once you get out to the main feature, the destination building, it is the hourglass-shaped building that was poked fun at by the St. Pete Times about 4 years ago when they published a picture and accumulated ideas at the time. I'm the fellow that thought the hourglass figure building would be ideal for two reasons. On the bottom part of the hourglass would house an expanded and new St. Pete History Museum, or Museum of History, with the Benoit airboat. We celebrated the centennial of that first flight, January 1 of this year. And Ed Hoffman, whose mullet skiff actually took off, it was Plan B for that celebration, is the one who sketched out my design or my concept, and you're welcome to look at it afterwards. On the second floor of this hourglass would be a totally new Columbia restaurant that revolved once every hour with an observation deck on top. And the view out there would be fantastic. And the Gonsmart family has been very cooperative. They were even suggesting a restaurant on the land side. So that's my concept. I think it would provide a lot of amenities, especially to foreign guests.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Okay. So is it Wilkinson?
Michael.
Michael, okay, thank you.
When I was in 6th grade, a teacher asked us what we wanted to be, and I said an architect. So 48 years later, here I am, I've arrived. I want to name the place, the new facility, Cascade, and I want to make it very unique. I want it to be a terraced building in a Mediterranean style with a cascading waterfall running down the middle. There'll be different levels and decks, 4 different terraces that people would be mingling around with the cascading waterfall running right by them. I think it's critical that we need dining there. Fine dining would be good, but casual dining as well. We need something I thought of that nobody has mentioned yet that I think would be great is a zip line from the top down to the bottom. I was at the Vancouver Olympics and they had a zip line and there was a mob of people there watching that. It just drew people to it. And music, as our table and some other tables have said, would be critical too, because you would hear the music filtering through to the city and it would draw people out to the pier. We do need maybe some museums. A Florida Sports Museum or a Florida Music History Museum might draw some people in. Boat slips, I think, are critical for people that need, that have boats that would like to visit and dock their boat. Parking is critical. My design actually has indoor parking here, which probably won't work, but it works on this. A heliport, if we want to have helicopter tours, you could have a heliport somewhere nearby. That hasn't been mentioned. I've got on my lower deck, I've got a children's splash fountain with games and a science park. On the next deck up, number 2 is outdoor atrium. It's basically like a park with some foliage and trees and things. The next deck up is a terrace for dining, outdoor dining. The attached restaurant would be for indoor dining. We have balconies here with some views. I think the observation deck is really critical because if you've been out on the pier, just like from the Statue of Liberty looking at New York City, it's just incredible to look back at St. Pete. So that's utmost importance. And on the back wall here, we could have rock climbing and the docks for the boats. I think that's it.
Okay. All right. Would you take the microphone, please? Introduce yourself so I have your name and I can scratch it off.
Hello, I'm Jeff Shore. Got some ideas for the pier. I'm not going to actually design it for you because I think that's the job of the architects. But anyway, some ideas. I think it should reflect the unique, exciting place that we are here in St. Petersburg, and we are the city of the arts, and we're a marine science center. So I think those two things should be incorporated into whatever design there is. For years, we have subsidized retail at the pier. Beach Drive is pretty successful right now. It's hopping. And now we need to support the retailers that already exist here in our city, west of Beach Drive and up Central. So to put retail in the other direction doesn't seem to make sense to me, especially since we've been subsidizing it for 40 years. If you walk down Beach Drive in the heat of the summer, you can see the sidewalk cafes full. There's no air conditioning out there. There's shade, there's fans, there's misters, but there is no AC, and those sidewalk cafes are full. Walk down there tomorrow afternoon, 90 degrees, you'll see people eating lunch out there. So yeah, we do need shade, we need fans. It's a park. In my view, it's a park, and so I don't think AC is that crucial unless there's one particular spot for dining where you can hop into with AC. And I think that's about it for me.
Jeff, thank you very much. Young man, microphone, please.
Hello, I am Tyler Jones. I am 13 years old, and I personally think that we should all have more kid-friendly activities for all ages. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler.
My name is Michael DeLiso. I sat at number 10, and I wanted to take an opportunity to speak for some of those individuals since we all couldn't come to the microphone. I personally feel that the pier should be reminiscent of the $1 Million Pier. I love the nostalgic structure of the Spanish architecture, and that's my personal opinion. But you can ask everyone in here, they all have a different idea of what the pier should have. That's an infinite question. But we do have people that have about there being a large vessel berth so that there is access to dinner boats or gambling boats. I've heard that brought up several times at the table in the previous meeting and tonight as well. I wanted to speak to the committee as well, if that's okay, the working committee of those that are still here. I did have some opinions that came from the first meeting and from this meeting that there are some areas of the questionnaire that 4 or 5 of the selections are so closely related that one could be the other, that they're almost interchangeable, so they were having difficulty assigning priority to those things, especially in the flexible meeting space, community gathering area, picnic area. It's so gray in between those, so that was a concern that was brought up by people at the table on both occasions, last week and tonight. I've heard at my table tonight and last week also, and I also feel that the food truck area, a business incubator with some small area devoted to vendors that may change. So I did hear a lot of opinion for that at our table tonight. I also had a gentleman at the table did speak on choosing materials for the pier. We did have a speaker that spoke on using sustainable practices in its construction, but we did have individuals that expressed concern about using composite materials and things in the construction that were longer lasting. I also wanted to speak to the people that are still remaining in the crowd. This is quite a turnout. They said thank you for the turnout, but I think that we all need to dig a little deeper into our family and into our community, into the people in our social network to get more people to come to these meetings and voice their opinion. I think that with a community this size, I'm surprised that you and your friends there aren't more people here. So I just want to spur you a little bit. I want to inspire you to reach out to people around you to get more people to voice their input at the meetings, and I'll close on that. Please reach to your friends and your neighbors to come out to these meetings and voice their opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I had called out the name tags that are left here once before. Is there anyone that still requires some microphone time that would like to get your 3 minutes up? Ice cream parlor, heard. Okay, well, listen, all right, and thank you for that. And having no more public opinion, I want to thank the city staffers for helping organize this and letting, the Coliseum's a beautiful venue. Our task force, the committee members, I know some had to go, but there may be some still in the room, and I thank you for helping us with the questionnaires. And by all means, each and every one of you that turned out tonight, your voices are heard, and I'm glad that you came to share with you what you want in your downtown waterfront, and that's what we were here for tonight, and I thank you for participating. Have a good night.